There are definitely a lot of things that people dismissed as conspiracy theories that have turned out to be true.
Hast du schon von den Twitter-Files gehört? Falls nicht, musst du unbedingt mein Video dazu anschauen, um über die schockierenden Enthüllungen zu erfahren. Und heute spreche ich mit jemandem, der exklusiv darüber berichtet hat, nämlich Michael Shellenberger, ein amerikanischer Autor und Journalist, der von Elon Musk persönlich auserwählt wurde, um die Twitter-Files auszuwerten und zu veröffentlichen. Und ich bin sehr stolz, dass wir ihn erstmalig im deutschsprachigen Raum euch exklusiv präsentieren können. Und damit viel Spaß bei einer neuen, extrem wichtigen Folge Finanzielle Intelligenz. Mein Name ist Marc Friedrich von der Honorarberatung Friedrich und Partner Vermögenssicherung. Welcome to a new episode Deep Dive today with Michael Shellenberger. It's an absolute pleasure having you on my channel, Michael. Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Very welcome. Yeah, it's the first time you're on a German channel. I'm very honored and proud of it. And perhaps you can introduce yourself for our audience. But before you do that, please tell me, do you have German relatives? Because Schellenberger is a very German name.
Yes, it's we traced our family back to Switzerland in the early 18th century, and they were probably persecuted Christians. They were Mennonites, which is an Anabaptist sect, so extremely Protestant, anti-government, anti-statist, pacifist.
Sounds very sympathetic, actually.
And that's about all I know. My German's terrible.
Okay, that's what we have in the next question. Do you speak any German? So we can do the interview in German, but hey, then we stick to English.
Nein.
Very good, very good. So who is Michael Shellenberger? Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure, I am an author. I have 2 books out of the last couple of years. One is called Apokalypse Never, and the other book is called San Francisco. And I am also a journalist, and I'm co-founder of a new Substack publication called Public. And Substack is a paid newsletter, and we give away the first third of our articles, and we cover energy, the environment, cities, crime, drugs, homelessness, and political corruption.
Okay, interesting. So, yeah, I will put all the important links in the show notes, of course. You can follow Michael on Twitter and you can read his books, which are incredible, great. I just have to recommend them. And yeah, definitely. So one of your last books you wrote is called Apokalypse Never. And I will put a link in the show notes, like I mentioned already. You're also part of the Twitter files, aren't you?
Well, yes, and it's a bit of an irony that very few people have appreciated because I criticize Elon Musk in my book. So, and I've only criticized Elon publicly up until the Twitter files. But it was a friend. We have 2 mutual friends, and so when he wanted to have independent journalists, with some reputation come in and have free access to the files. So I was a friend of a friend, but it wasn't because I knew him or because he likes me or anything like that.
Okay. So did you talk to him so far, or did you meet him now after the Twitter files?
I have, and we are on, I would say, friendly, professional terms. We're not friends, but we know each other, and and he sometimes replies to me on Twitter, which is always a huge boost of attention. But as everybody knows, the business is in trouble. I mean, Twitter has had poor economics for years, and he's had other challenges. So it's not like he had a lot of free time to spend with us.
So let's shift the topics to the Twitter files. It's a really big topic, and I was actually shocked, Michael, and I was following it, and it's very, very interesting. Actually, is it like what Elon Musk also twittered? He said all conspiracy theories actually became true, and it feels like actually.
There are definitely a lot of things that people dismissed as conspiracy theories that have turned out to be true. So just to go through the quick list, Twitter was definitely censoring disfavored voices. So was Facebook. Facebook censored accurate information because it feared that it would lead people to not take the vaccine, and they did so at the request of the White House. The FBI and former FBI agents were running an information operation to persuade the news media and the social media platforms that there would be Russian disinformation relating to Hunter Biden before the leak of the Hunter Biden laptop. The FBI was constantly pressuring the social media companies and paying the social media companies, yes, ostensibly for legal fees, but nonetheless, millions of dollars they were paying them. Or there was pressure from the White House for Facebook and Twitter to censor climate change information that was accurate. So it's scary, and I'm an advocate of greater transparency. I think the government should require transparency. That's the main thing that needs to happen on social media. They need Elon and Mark Zuckerberg and the government just need to agree that if you're going to censor somebody, you got to say so publicly why. If you're going to de-amplify them, you got to decide why. You got to say why.
Yeah, I'm absolutely shocked actually, and this is killing the trust in social media, in mainstream media, and everything. And a lot of people are disappointed and hurt actually. And I think the conspiracy theories are becoming true. It's horrible. So I think there will be more coming. There will be, I think there's a YouTube files and there are Instagram files and Meta files. I think they are it's just a peak of the iceberg. So. Let me start with the Hunter Biden laptop story. I don't know if the people in Germany are very familiar with this topic, so maybe you could start off and explain why this laptop is so important, and then what you discovered in the Twitter files, and why is it such a scandal actually, and shouldn't Biden resign, or what do you think? Should there be an investigation of this topic?
So I think it's the most important part of the Twitter files, which is what was the FBI doing in relationship to media companies? So it's unconstitutional, illegal, a violation of the First Amendment for the government to even pressure private companies to engage in censorship. Okay, that's not legal. That appears to have been what was going on. But there was another thing that was going on, which is that the FBI has the computer laptop of the son of the presidential candidate Joe Biden in December 2019. On that laptop is evidence of criminal activity. The FBI has done nothing with this laptop, but all of 2020, they were raising concerns with the news media and the social media that there could be a Russian disinformation campaign relating to Hunter Biden. They were also spying on the person, Rudy Giuliani, who was Trump's lawyer, when he got the laptop and gave it to the New York Post. And all that time, the FBI agents were warning Twitter, Facebook, and the news media that there could be Russian disinformation leak at the exact same time that there was in October. So maybe there's nothing to this. Maybe it's a gigantic misunderstanding. Maybe it's a huge coincidence. If that's the case, then we can all rest more sweetly knowing that the FBI is not engaging in political activities aimed at changing the outcome of an election. However, one of the most important media analysts alive, a man who worked at the CIA for 30 years, named Martin Gurri. He also happened to write the most important book on the internet in recent years called The Revolt of the Public. Martin Gurri says, of course, that's what the FBI was doing. He thinks it's very obvious. He stresses he's not a conspiracy theorist. And you look at this pattern of behavior, and it appears the FBI is running an influence operation aimed at pre-bunking, we say. We say there's debunking, but pre-bunking in advance, spreading misinformation so that when the laptop information became public, people dismissed it as Russian information. There will be congressional hearings on this. I don't know if I'll testify for them, but this is an issue that is unresolved in the United States, and it involves our most important policing organization, the largest policing organization in the world, the most important policing organization in the world, which is the FBI. And we do not want a political intelligence gathering organization. When you have a political intelligence gathering operation, it looks like the Stasi. And we do not want that kind of an operation in the United States.
I think the one bigger scandal is actually the vaccine thing. So what do you think? How do people feel who got vaccinated and now this information comes out? So, for example, are you vaccinated and do you feel betrayed?
I am vaccinated. Do I feel betrayed? I'm angry that there was this effort to censor accurate information because it's paternalistic in the worst way. There's some forms of paternalism that are benevolent, but we should have the information to make the decision about the vaccine. Obviously, I'm vaccinated twice, 3 times, and I got COVID. So obviously you can get COVID with it, so we should know that, and therefore you can transmit it. So yeah, I mean, COVID's a bit trickier because you're trying to weigh a bunch of social goods, including saving lives. And so I think that COVID is not something I've written a lot about, but definitely the one thing that we did do on it was the White House demanding and Facebook censoring accurate information about the vaccine is totally inappropriate, absolutely inappropriate, and should be illegal if it's not illegal. So I'm outraged about that. But I definitely think, look, I'm a bit of a COVID moderate. I think that some people go too far in the other direction too. So
always. The truth is in the middle, I guess. So what else can we expect in the future from the Twitter files? Can you tell us something?
There's a lot there and there's more to do. My view is that the most important findings we found, and the reason for that is because they all had to do with things that we knew were going on to some extent already. And so for me, there is more there. I've told Elon directly, as has every other author that's been involved, that he should release them all. Like, we want it all out. So that is my stated view. And I also think that there is enough that's been released to merit a significant congressional investigation and a significant Justice Department investigation potentially. Yes.
So how is the US doing right now, actually, in general? What's your opinion about that?
Well, I think that we are in between paradigms, which is a very dangerous time. It's a very pregnant moment. Something's happening.
We all feel it.
We don't know what it is.
Yeah, we all feel it.
What's that?
We all feel it.
Yes.
It's a paradigm shift, and we don't know what's expecting us. So everybody is insecure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So we have an extremely old and frail head of state of the most important country in the world, of the most powerful country in the world, of the country that is the foundation at this point of the West. I mean, you could say Europe is the foundation of the West, but the United States provides the kind of platform at a security and economic level for the Western global economy. You have a kind of weak leader of Germany who is a kind of career man. He's sort of got to his position by always being very responsive to the person above him and also quite subservient. And so, Scholz, I think, has done a good job in running all over the world to get gas. So he's been a kind of good buyer of gas, but he's not Adenauer. Did I say it right? Konrad Adenauer. How do I say the chancellor after World War II?
Perfect. Konrad Adenauer.
Oh, I did. Okay. He's no Adenauer. You see Macron is emerging. He wants to be the leader of Europe with a weakened Germany, but he has his own political challenges. So I think that the political right is embracing a more national orientation in the United States. And so we see the political right is supportive of a larger role for government within the United States, a smaller role for government outside of the United States. And I think the left is now lost in the church of identity and the cult of ecology. And so that has been reflective of a professional managerial class and of the demands of a neoliberal, post-Cold War system. But we don't know yet how exactly it'll work out. I mean, I think that the right in the United States we should have had a red wave in the United States. There should have been a big Republican victory. There wasn't, because the Republicans were lost in this election denialism. They're lost in Trumpism. Now it appears that Trump is not going to succeed. That his time is over. He's gone. And that the right now wants this Florida governor named Ron DeSantis as its leader. And then I think I think that all of this about the documents that Biden found, these classified documents, I don't know if this is in the news in Germany.
It is.
I think that's about Democrats wanting somebody else.
Of course.
I think there's an element of that is definitely a palace coup. I mean, so there's a big New York Times article this morning where clearly people close to Biden are leaking the story that on the one hand is them justifying their handling of the situation. On the other hand is a way of saying that Biden probably should not run again. So I suspect that Biden, what's that?
I think he is too old and perhaps he's even sick, so it's not safe anymore.
Yes. So, I think it's, I was saying to my friend, my friend is now working with me at Substack, and we renamed ourselves. It was just called Michael Shellenberger, and now it's called Public. And I told him, and we've been doing some, I think, very exciting journalism. We've been criticizing the World Economic Forum. We've been writing about the Twitter files. And I'm like, we're going to make this the golden age of journalism, because when things in the world are boring, journalism becomes boring, and that's what's occurred. But when things are changing and there's things to cover and write about, journalism is exciting, it's interesting, and so I think that we're entering into a dangerous period politically, but nonetheless one that is very exciting to cover as a journalist and to think about as a public intellectual.
Yeah, we see definitely historic times. And you were actually part of the Democratic Party, but then you left it. Why? What bothers you about the Democratic Party? Is it too woke?
Yeah, that says it all. I mean, woke is a very good word. There's people who say they don't know what wokeism means. That's not true. Everybody knows what it means. It's victimhood ideology. There's no heroism in it. There's no strength in it. It celebrates weakness and flaccidity. So, most people, when they're not Democrats, they become Republicans. And I'm not a Republican, and I'm not a conservative. I don't consider myself, unless you say I'm pro-civilization. So if you think that's conservative, then I'm conservative in that sense. But generally, I tend to hold liberal values on many things: sexual relations, family, the state, the role of government. We have to take care of our elderly and our sick. And so I tend to be, there's parts of me that would be a social democrat from the perspective of a European, but I'm an anti-woke liberal, I guess you would say. An anti-woke social democrat.
Yeah, go woke, go broke is 100% true, actually. And all this wokeism is driving me crazy. And I think it's just a sign that we see the late Roman decadency. And it's like, the end of a cycle. And we have the luxury to talk about problems like there are not problems, actually. So that's the wokeism. And you said it perfectly. Okay. So, Michael, thank you for...
Okay, now, Mark, my turn, because you asked all the questions. You tell me what you're working on. What's interesting to you in Germany right now?
Yeah, of course. The whole energy policy is very, very important. Inflation, then Corona, COVID, of course, the vaccination, it's a big scandal here today. The German Minister of Health destroyed like 7 or 8 million masks and vaccine doses. So we spent a lot of money here, and we had 2 hard lockdowns, and people are really outraged about everything. We see more and more side effects from the vaccines, and I know a lot of people, and this is horrible, of course. And then I think we have to talk about the war in the Ukraine and Russia. We have to talk about the future of Europe. And I'm writing my 7th book right now. It will be published this year, and it will be about digital money, Bitcoin, CBDCs, because I think the future of money is digital, and there are pros and cons. I think it's very dangerous to have CBDCs. Look at China. So I think we will see more problems in the future. So that's why I think we have to keep talking. Michael, listen, I would like to do this again one day. I definitely have to recommend both books from you. I will put them in the show notes. I have to thank you for your time. It was great talking to you. I hope I can invite you again, and I send you all the information. Thank you for your effort and for your work. And guys, if you like the video, please share it and follow Michael on Twitter, read his books, and share this video and leave a subscription right here. Hope to see you again, Michael. All the best to you. Have a great year. Thanks.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. Ich hoffe, das Interview hat dir genauso gut gefallen wie mir. Lass mal dein Feedback unten in den Kommentaren da, damit ich sehen kann, wie es euch gefallen hat. Und wenn es euch gefallen hat, gerne breit teilen. Immer wieder kommt die Frage, Marc, wie kann ich deine wertvolle Arbeit unterstützen? Und wenn ihr auch genug habt vom Mainstream, von Fake News, von Meinungsmache und einem fehlenden Diskurs und vor allem knallhartem Framing und ihr objektive Arbeit unterstützen möchtet, könnt ihr das jetzt machen mit einer Kanalmitgliedschaft. Die könnt ihr hier abschließen, um unsere Arbeit zu unterstützen. Es gibt auch dann kleine Präsente, Features, Specials. Schaut einfach mal rein. Hier findet ihr mehr Informationen dazu. Also denkt immer daran, wegen Menschen wie Elon Musk tatsächlich, aber auch Michael Shellenberger ist die Welt da draußen besser, als wir glauben. Herzlichst, euer Marc.